Hey, it's your buddy Peace and Harmony with you here today. We're focusing a little bit more in depth on the topic of emotional manipulation. When an individual who is narcissistic or psychopathic seeks to overpower your emotions, seeks to overpower your own sense of self, seems to overpower your own emotional thought process, self belief, self trust, self determination, and focus. Remember that the emotionally manipulative individual who really wants to get your self-esteem in their hands is, once they have done that, they basically are going to mold you to their needs. They're going to mold you to their ends. Whatever that might be, if it's companionship, if it's support, if you're, just going to be there to support them, like almost like a parasite, you're there to basically expend all of your emotional and physical energy to be there for them when they need it. If a pin drops, you're there. If a feather drops, you're there. You're going to try to, catch the feather when they drop it. You don't know where it's going to be. It's going to be a moving target, but you end up being focused and controlled on their emotional manipulation and satisfying their needs more so than really having focus and working in alignment with your own body, mind, and spirit. You're focusing on really the satisfaction of them, and you're constantly wondering, oftentimes then when you have fallen short, you're going to be feeling like they haven't responded to you, they haven't texted you, they haven't sent the photographs to you, they haven't Instagrammed you, they haven't Snapchatted, they haven't Facebooked you. They are going on a trip without you. They're going on a trip with someone else. You don't know where they're at. You're feeling suspicious. You're feeling hypervigilant. You're having a panic attack. You're feeling anxiety about it. You're feeling depressed. You're feeling like you're doubting yourself. There's something that you did wrong. There's something that you didn't do right. You're constantly having to reevaluate yourself as you stand in relation to this individual. Those are oftentimes the signs of being in an emotionally manipulative relationship and not a relationship based on love. Remember that the emotional manipulator, if they can get you to doubt yourself, oh, they are having a heyday, especially the psychopathic or narcissistic individual who gets you to doubt yourself, who gets you to look at yourself with disbelief. You are unbelievable. You are crazy. They're shaking their head at you. No, they're trying to insinuate that you are rotten to the core, that you are unbelievable, that you are hideous, that you are heinous, that you are shameful, that you are crazy. I mean, they love to use these absolute words. Like, it just shows how unrealistic they are. It shows how out of foundation of reality they are when they use these absolutes, oftentimes with good people. And this, when you're under this emotional manipulator control, oftentimes your own emotions are going haywire. Your self-belief is going haywire. You're not acting out of self-trust and certainty and a sense of knowingness. You're not connected to your solar plexus, which we talk about here. You're not in alignment with your own inner voice, which we talk about in the recovery journal, the I ams and the vision of what you want to do, what you want to be, what you want to become, and what you want to have. Instead of being programmed and conditioned by this positive view of your future, you're stuck and derailed trying to satisfy the emotional needs of an emotional manipulator, and you're feeling self-doubt, constantly self-denial, and really doubt, which is I feel is one of the most insidious parts of the love bombing, the devaluing, and the discarding phase, or really at the hands of any emotional manipulator, is that lack of self-belief, lack of self-certainty, lack of self-knowing, lack of knowing oneself. You have to constantly live in reaction to them. That's the fight or flight. That's the stress. That's the pressure. That is the foundation of disease. When you are living in that constant anxiety and stress as it relates to them, their criticism, their judgment, you're living as an extension of them. You're living always in reaction. So if you are constantly living under that stress, that pressure, living in reaction to a narcissistic abuser, realize that is how they get what they want. They put all this pressure. They have these unrealistic expectations. They have these perfectionist standards, which I mean, it's through the roof. I mean, it's just not appropriate for you. It's not appropriate for your personality. Like, you're always going to fall short. Yet in the love bombing phase, you felt, there was this groove, there was this love, there was this symbiotic relationship, where you were satisfying them narcissistically because of your looks, because of your wit, because of how you supported them, how you nurtured them. If you find oftentimes you end up giving way more to them than you do and receive. And so the whole mind trip is that, well, you should be so grateful to be supporting me. You are so privileged to be in my presence, or you are so privileged to be able to help me. I mean, it's like the mind twist is very insidious. So really then the seed of the emotional manipulation is like, you should be so lucky to get to scratch my back. You should be so lucky as to be the one to love me. I mean, what are you talking about? That is just all one way. It looks like I'm going to be doing a lot of giving and I'm not going to be getting a lot of receiving here. But the problem with the relationship is, in the beginning, you end up buying into that because you might have a void. You might have a codependent streak. Oh boy, that's going to get maxed. That is going to get maxed out. Your codependent streak is going to get maxed out if you permit it to a narcissistic or psychopathic manipulative manipulator, emotional manipulator. And so basically, as you continue to go on, you notice that you're living more and more in this stress. You're living more and more in this fight or flight. You're experiencing the adrenal fatigue. You're trying to live up to the ego. I have news for you guys. It's not all about the ego. The narcissist is going to have you believe it's all about how you look, the appearance, your accomplishments, how many cars you have, how many watches, how many big screen TVs, surround systems, personal theater systems. I mean, it's all ego. It's insatiable. I have news for you. It's not all about that. It's about being at peace. It's about loving life. It's about being able to appreciate nature. It's about being able to appreciate a good glass of water. It's about being able to appreciate the fact that you have healthy food and that you're eating healthy and you're not eating junk. It's about surrounding yourself with positive news and not constantly negative news. It's just going to tear you down. It has nothing to do with yourself, your productivity, where you're going, and what you can contribute. If you're just trying to contribute to the narcissist, you're just contributing to the narcissist. You're not contributing to your own life. And excuse me, for those people who have been in covert, I've got a total thing going on with my throat. But if you have based your entire life, like I know many of my viewers and those people who email me who have been this role, this support role to this individual, and it's now later in life, and you're seeing that the relationship is out of whack, out of balance, it's empty, it's void, there's no intimacy, there's no warmth, there's no good feelings, you feel taken advantage of, you feel like you haven't been appreciated, you feel like you haven't been respected, you have not been embraced. I mean, it doesn't cost anything to give someone a smile. It doesn't cost anything for you to give somebody, a hug. It might take 3 seconds, but, I mean, do you not have 3 seconds? And so it's very important to realize that that ego base can never be satisfied, and you can always continue to give to them, but it's never going to be enough. You're never going to feel like it's contented. And so the discontent, I feel, is one of the real evils of narcissism and ego-based emotional manipulators. And so looking at some more of the signs, is that if you constantly, it's now become too complicated. As I say in my videos, it's all in your head. You're constantly you're doubting yourself. You're constantly analyzing, what more do I need to do? What else do I need to do? How can I better send more Instagrams? How can I send more Snapchats? How can I do more pictures? I mean, it's this pressure. And of course, there's always going to be some pressure situations, or, where you have to, things are a little bit out of balance. But we're talking when it gets extreme, when it gets excessive, when you're now defined by their needs. You are now on the fast track to like adrenal fatigue, depression, and anxiety if you stay on that train. So, realize that this is how the foundation of how emotional manipulation gets placed in your, and make sure that it does not become part of your identity, is just living to satisfy others. Don't feel like you're being selfish by pulling back, declaring your boundaries, and saying no. I refuse to think like that. I refuse to be like that. I refuse to react like that. No, I refuse to live in this uncertainty. I refuse to live in your judgment all the time. No, I've had enough with your judgment. I've had enough of your criticism. I've had enough of living to your ends. I've had enough of trying to live up to your expectations. The guidepost isn't here, guys. If I could have a big measuring stick or a guidepost or a compass, the compass has to be within you and how you connect with others. The source comes from within you. You are the one who has your emotions. You are the one who has your own heart. You are the ones who have your own lungs. You have your own eyes. You have your own touch. Your hands have the ability to heal. Your voice has the ability to inspire. Your embrace has the ability to warm. You have to embrace those and appreciate those very subtle things, because it's not all about the ego, as the emotional manipulator would furthermore have you perceive. Peace and harmony with you here today. I hope these videos do help. Please share and please subscribe for more great tools, videos, discussion, and support.